sitting here today having an absolute joy of a time, wonderful time, chatting with my new friend. I think we're going to be friends for a while. Jessica Davidson, Department Manager, Ray White Frankston, has just recently won Property Manager of the Year for Victoria, Tasmania. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And you posted, I think either you posted or maybe your principal posted or someone posted the award. And I thought I would love to chat with you simply because I like to hear how people go through the process of awards, and award winners tend to have great customer relationships, generally have really good relationships with their team. You can't always have great relationships, but generally, and you don't win awards by fluke. There's work that goes into that. So
a lot of hard work and collaborative effort.
Yeah, and it's generally a team. You don't win although it's a bit like the Brownlow in football. One person gets it, but the team created it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your Google reviews. Now, I've just jumped on board. I love looking at an agency that has great Google reviews. And clearly in your office, you've got a system around that, because not only did you smash it at 380 Google reviews as of today, so I'll date it, it's where September 2020, just in case someone looks this in 2 years' time and says, 380, that's not a lot. 380, that's killing it.
Yeah, no, look, it's something we've definitely put a strong focus on. Social proof is everything in our business, and it's probably one of been probably the core driver for bringing new business into our rental department has been the reviews on our staff and our team on both Google, on Facebook. The sales team use Rate My Agent as well. So we're really looking to try and bolster our social reviews out there in the marketplace, because most people these days, when they're shopping around for a service or looking to recruit someone to look after their largest asset, they want to see how they're going to treat their clients, their stakeholders in their business.
Remiss of me actually mentioning, we're talking a lot about property management today, but your sales team are really kicking it as well. 360 reviews on Rate My Agent with a 4.9 out of 5 rating, 50 reviews on realestate.com.au, and 380 Google reviews with a 4.8 star rating. That must, do you track whether that's leading? I can see in your eyes.
No, definitely. Our managing director, Ash, is, he loves stats, loves numbers.
Numbers person?
Yeah, definitely a numbers person.
Introduce me? I'm a numbers person. I like numbers people.
I think I'll have to. And he keeps his finger very much on that pulse, and he wants to be able to see not only how we're tracking in the marketplace with the reviews that we have coming in, but also how we're tracking against our competitors. Frankston's quite a large market, and with great big hairy audacious goals for the future, that's going to be the benchmark of how we're going to grow this business.
Just tell me about that. Tell me about the Frankston market. So my office was in Richmond, and I say that there were 13 agents in Richmond. Go over the bridge, over the Yarra. There was another 15 or 20 into South Yarra, and then I've got East Melbourne, and I've got Collingwood. Then I had Hawthorn. So we were in a market which was compressed. Frankston, are you the only agency in Frankston, and that's why you're getting all the business?
No, definitely not. If you do a quick search on realestate.com at the moment, there are 95 agents that are currently listing in the Frankston marketplace.
So not a lot of competition.
Not a lot of competition. Actual physical offices in Frankston, probably fairly similar to your experience there in Richmond. We're about 12 to 13 agencies, which is still not, it's not too bad. There's quite a bit of competition out there, but yeah, there's franchise groups, there's individuals that work in there, but Frankston as a marketplace is massive, and it's just a gold mine of opportunity. So there's more than enough room for all of us, but we want to be the best. So we do put a focus on that.
So I was recently I was at a business conference, and the presenter was talking about, and he used a slide, and I've started using it in my presentation. So anyone that's going to see me from here on in at a conference will see this, and it goes something along the lines: someone in your area has to be the most expensive. Why not you? someone in your area has to be the best. Why not you? It's simply a decision. So I've started using that, and I've started now going and challenging my clients. Why are we not positioning ourselves? So from your agency point of view, I don't know too much about your positioning, but where do you go out into the marketplace? And this might be a Dorothy Dix question, but do you go out into the marketplace and say, we'll give away 3 months free rent, 6 months free rent, we'll go in at 3%. Are you positioning yourself here, or are you at customer service overrides that?
Customer service, 110%. No, we're not a discount agency. In fact, you know, when we were doing a bit of a review on the management fees that our agency charges against and benchmarking those against some of the other Ray White offices within the group, we were actually charging one of the highest management fees. Yes. You know, as we were benchmarking against those other offices. So it really has been more about the quality over the quantity. In saying that, our average marketplace, our average rent's about $385 in our portfolio of 660 odd properties. It's sitting at around $360. We can't afford to be a discount agency. We need to make sure that we're hitting that water level, that, you know, what it costs to have all of the systems and programs that we use in place to have the best property managers available to look after our clients. That costs money.
It does, and it does. And it's interesting, as a consultant, which is what I do most of the day, is I talk to agents, and I'm still staggered by the number of agents that don't understand what their minimum benchmark is. They don't understand how to have a look at what they're at, because percentages really, it's a furphy. I'm sure you'll agree with me. Percentages is irrelevant. It's what does it return back as an average? And generally, and I know I've done some work with Ben White through ALO, and he uses the average of around $120, $130 per month net. So GST on top is around Australia's average that you should be aiming for. Now, I see offices that are doing going in and saying, we've got lots of properties and we're at $70 a month. And I think, how the hell are you doing that? You're going backwards. You can't afford to have maintenance manager, PME, inspection express. You can't afford to have all those things. A strong Google presence and leasing team. Do you have all of those apps and software? Is that something?
Yeah, look, definitely. We invested. I was very, very fortunate in sort of September, October last year. Ashley, our managing director, sort of said JD, just go nuts. Do what you need to do to bring this rental department into the 21st century. Prior to then, we were pen and paper.
Check. That's a golden check.
that was music to my ears. It's something that I've been championing for a long time. But we had pen and paper, you know, checklists. We had paper forms. We were using a server-based system, and it, you know, being able to go through and make us we're 100% paperless, our office now.
Oh, really? Okay.
100% paperless. You don't even need a pen and paper to work in our office. You can work off your iPad, your tablet, your phone, your laptop, from wherever. You can do your job. And that was, I suppose, made us perfectly positioned when COVID rolled around in March, because you know, I thought, well, here's an opportunity to sort of test run. And we were very, very fortunate. We didn't have to iron out too many kinks. Everything flowed really well. And a lot of our landlords and tenants didn't really notice the transition, or didn't realise that we'd been working from home since March this year. Yeah. Because the service level and the service offerings didn't change, because we've invested heavily in, you know, Trello, PropertyMe.
Oh, Trello. Yeah, good.
Yeah, love Trello. It's probably been a saving grace for our department, because we're very checklist orientated.
What I'll do is, what we might do after this is I might show you my Trello board, you show me yours, and we can just sit there and go, all googly-eyed over our Trello boards.
Yeah, no, definitely. Organisation is key for any property management department. So yeah, we utilise Trello, Inspection Express for all of our paperless condition reports, routine inspections, exit reports, PropertyMe for our database server-based program, and our leasings all run through Inspect Real Estate as well. So we've invested heavily in that, and that supports the team to give them more capacity so they can manage more properties.
So with all of that, so I'll go back. Let's just go back a little bit. You said to me before you started in 2002, I had already prepared a question saying how different real estate was back then, but you were in sales, so you didn't really know. How long have you been in property management?
I started full-time in property management back in, it's probably been, I've been nearly, 17 years now. I did 10 years in sales, so it's about 7 or 8 years now that I've been in property management.
And have you noticed it's the app stacking, have you noticed the proliferation of new technology, new apps? Have you noticed how every day we seem to be having the new whiz-bang time saver? Yeah. I'm going to ask you this. Do you feel as though you've got more time in your day?
Yes. Yeah, no,
look, I think because I think we're just doing more.
Well, look, I think the expectation level from our clients is a lot higher now.
Sure.
And so without these apps and without these time savers that can be implemented into the business, we would be falling behind and we would be losing business quicker than we'll be bringing it on. So in that aspect, yes, it is saving us time because we're able to handle capacity a lot more with the apps and the processes that we have in place. I've always been a firm believer that a property manager is only as busy as their vacancy list. So being able to process vacancies and process their checklists a lot quicker and online just makes their job so much easier, and they're not getting lost in clunky software.
So I think you're probably agreeing with me. Maybe I just didn't word it right. We're doing more. Like you don't just work 6 hours a day now because we've got apps. We're still doing a full day. With just the expectation's greater. The expectation now on a property manager, and I can remember, and I talk about this a lot at conferences. 20 years ago, property managers were going to the bank to take the checks of all the rent in. And then probably, sitting there and the principal was signing checks or the account manager was signing checks. There wasn't the EFT process that we have now. Tenants were still coming in and paying rent. I've worked in agencies now, tenants still come in and pay rent. 20 years ago was very, very different to what it is now. The expectation of a property manager, you need to be a counsellor, psychologist, debt collector. You need to have a building degree, a financial degree, probably a psych degree. You need
to wear many hats in property management, and you need to be a jack of all trades, I think.
It's crazy, isn't it? And so when you're bringing on, tell me a little bit when you bring on brand new. I love it when brand new people come to the industry, but I do say to them, and maybe I don't know what your thoughts are here. I say to them, particularly sales. A lot of people want to go into sales. Don't pigeonhole yourself into one area. Just try real estate as an industry. When you bring on, do you have cadets or trainees? How does your office work with brand new people?
Well, look, that's definitely something that we want to start developing through our rental team at the moment. Like I think I've mentioned to you that our team are quite experienced at the moment. I think the least amount of experience we have in the department is sort of 5 to 6 years at the moment. So I'm very fortunate to be working with a great bunch of property managers that I can rely on just as much as they rely on me to troubleshoot ideas. But the development of young people coming through the industry is how you are going to future-proof your rental department. Yeah. There are always going to be the transition and the turnover of staff as either people want to get out of the industry or they want to try something new within the real estate industry and get into sales. You really need to be growing your next property manager or bringing them through the ranks so that when you do get that, hey, this is no longer for me, or this is what I want to try next, you're future-proofed. You're not scrambling when all of a sudden you think, oh, we've got to find a property manager because they're not going to be here anymore or whatnot. So we need to start developing and bringing through younger people in the industry. And the benefit of that is that you can teach them your way. You don't have to find out bad habits or anything like that. And you really get a good view of what someone's work ethic is going to be like in those trainee style years. You should always be training through new people to help them progress their career, knowing they're probably going to leave you one day. I don't think you can ever rely on having a property manager that's going to last years and years. I think the average PGM lasts 1.5 to 2 years before they look at another opportunity. But we just try and create an environment where they don't want to leave. But always make sure that we're future-proofing the department by making sure there's someone in the wings ready to come through and take on that extra opportunity, whether it's through growth or replacing someone as they decide to try something new.
As you were saying, as you were talking there, Jess, what comes to mind is reactive recruitment versus proactive, and that proactive is bring somebody on today when you don't need them, train them. I implemented many years ago. I'm going to say 7 or 8 years ago. I implemented a cadet program in our agency. So it was for 12 months. They would come on board. They had to do their agents. They had to come to your agent's rep to start with. They had to do their full license through the 12 months and complete it. And I put them in 3-month blocks. So they spent some time in reception and admin. They spent some time in sales as a cadet. They spent some time working directly with me. Spent some time in property management. And at the end of the 12 months, we said, you've got better skills in PM. We'll pop you into PM. You've got better skills in sales. But it gave them it was almost like an all-rounder approach. It worked. It worked. Another thing that I was going to just bring to your attention, and it reminded me, I wrote an article years ago saying that our staffing issues, as principals, we had real issues around staffing, but it takes about 10 years to fix that. And so I don't blame the fact that we don't have good quality staff available today on ourselves. I blame principals 10 years ago. However, the caveat to that was, if in 10 years' time we still haven't fixed this staffing issue, then it's our fault.
It's our fault. Yeah.
We can't get this free kick either way. It's our fault. We've got to invest in the young people to be able to, because you didn't start out as an award-winning team leader, property manager of the year. You started out probably making the same stupid mistakes that the next person will make day one. That an older person looks back and goes, what are they thinking? They forget that they used to make those mistakes.
Well, I encourage anyone who's new to the industry to make mistakes. I want them to make mistakes. I don't want to have a safety net or a blanket there constantly. I mean, of course, I'm there to support them. But the one way they're going to learn and understand this industry is to make mistakes and to get a little bit burnt by it. And they go, oh, I'll never do that again. That's how I learned. I learned by making mistakes. And I got better for it. If everyone feels like there's always someone that's going to clean up their mess for them, they're never going to learn how to be better and how to be that top, 2 or 3% of their industry. So you've got to make mistakes to learn.
And is that how you see yourself? You see yourself in the top 2 or 3% in the industry?
No, I'd say I'm good at my job. I'm passionate about my job.
Yeah.
I'd love to be in the top 2 to 3% in the industry, but I know there are some amazing property managers out there. I've had the opportunity to work with some amazing property managers. All I can do is continually keep learning from them, and one day maybe I'll get there.
It's interesting. I've been doing this now 20 years, and I reckon I know about that much. It's because
you never stop learning.
It keeps changing every day. There's new apps. There's on the App Store, 30 to 40 new apps are delivered every day. And so in an agency to try and keep ahead of what's current, what's new, and those sorts of things. I didn't ask before, but you use Property Me. Do you have your landlord and tenant portal switched on?
Sure.
Do they? Yeah. So many agencies don't do that because they're a little bit afraid of what's in there. Get over yourself, clean it up, and then offer that service. Be transparent. You've got your 380 Google reviews. Tell me a little bit about the strategy there. Someone clearly manages that because you're answering them.
Yeah, definitely. We have an amazing client care consultant in our office. Her name is Sophie, and she is the one person that goes to, and she's in charge of all client care sort of related activities within the office. She drives review rallies each month. So the whole team gets together for 2 or 3 hours each month, and we do a review rally. We ring through clients, we ask for reviews, we chat to people, we encourage them to put their thoughts and feedback, positive and negative, online, because the negative is just as valuable as the positive, because it gives you areas to learn where you can improve your service offerings. And then, you know, whoever gets the most reviews in the review rally becomes our customer service champion for the month, and they get a $100 voucher and a lovely little glass award that they get to sit on their desk until someone takes it off them next month. But there's a lot of competition in the office, not just the sales, but the property managers. We're all very competitive.
So do you track the number of the number of reviews that lead directly through to new business, both sales and rentals? Do you have a feel for that, or is it just anecdotal?
Yeah, look, I'm sure we do. I don't dabble too much in the new business side of things. The growth team is managed predominantly by Ashley, the sales director. I tend to focus more so on the property management side of things. Yes. The whole entire office, property management and sales, are involved with feeding through to that. And you know, social proof is going to be the future of real estate business. If it's not on Google and if it's not on Facebook, I mean, what's the first thing to do when you're looking for someone to mow your lawns? You go, oh, Michael, who do you use?
Google.
They'll ask peers, they'll ask friends and family who they use. We want to be that agency. They go, use Ray White. They've been fantastic. And we can keep those temperature checks by doing regular NPS scores on our sales and property management teams, so that we know what the general vibe out there in the local market is about our agency. And that gives us great confidence to be able to go out and ask for more reviews. And we are the #1 reviewed agent in Frankston. And we're gaining more and more ground from our closest competitor. We're trying to widen that gap as much as we can. So we're always on the phones. It's part of the property manager's KPIs to ask for reviews. So we want to encourage people to leave us reviews, because that is going to be the main lead source for not only our sales team, but our new business team as well.
So Jess, I had a quick look through. I didn't read obviously the 380. But the mix you feel between sales and PM, roughly, the reviews?
Oh, we have our good months and our bad months. Sometimes the PMs just absolutely smash the sales team, and I'm so proud when that happens. You know, we really give it a red hot go, and we really take home the gong on those months. You know, the sales team, they have a lot more avenues to be able to ask for reviews. They've got, you know, Rate My Agent, Facebook and Google. They focus on those three, whereas as a property management department, we really only focus on Google and Facebook.
Yes.
We do rely quite heavily on, after our NPS surveys have gone out, you know, garnering the feedback from those surveys and encouraging landlords and tenants to put their feedback online. So once every 3 months, property management gets a real boost online.
Fantastic. I was at an agency 2 years ago now, and came up with we wanted to try and drive our Google reviews. We're in a small outer country town that Google wasn't, you know, I think the biggest was about 30 or 40 reviews, and we were smashing it just over 100 because we really focused on it. I was running awards with the staff, but I had to, the review had to have their name in it, otherwise it didn't count. Mm. So if it just said, I was really happy with X agency, I said doesn't count. It has to say I was really happy with Jess. Mm. And but what I did was I ran a program we sent an email out to all the landlords and said, would you like to offer your tenant a Christmas gift? Mm. And we did movie tickets, lunch at a winery, and we also included a $25 voucher to the local charity to prepare hampers for Christmas Day.
Yeah, well, that's a great
We had about 20 landlords from the portfolio, 280 properties, had about 20 landlords that said yes. So just before Christmas, it was the Friday before we broke up, we'd had our Christmas party, and I was picking up the phone, calling tenants just before I sent an email off. And I'll tell you, this is where this is leading, calling them saying, just wanted to let you know, it's Michael from the agency. Just want to let you know, the landlord has generously organised a Christmas gift for you. I'm about to send it through, but just in case you think it's a joke, don't delete it, because the voucher's here, movie tickets, wine, lunch. I'm CCing, and I CC'd the tenant, blind CC'd the tenant, blind CC'd the owner. And so they saw that we're actually sending through this thing to the tenants. And a lot of the tenants said, oh, who are you? You're talking crap. I don't know what you're talking about. There's no way that the owner's doing that. Anyway, so what I then wrote in the email was, If you would like to say thank you, could you please do it on Google? The owner's name is Fred and Mary. So what we did over Christmas was we started getting all these owners, all these tenants writing back and saying, you're not going to believe this. My owners just bought me a lunch voucher to the so-and-so winery. I really thank you, Fred and Mary, in our Google reviews. In January, we started picking up more work because I kept saying to the PMs, every time someone comes to our office, every time someone wants to look at us as a new agency, point them to Google. You can't get tenants doing that. So it was a Christmas gift, and it worked a treat. Cost us nothing.
Yeah.
Just a bit of time.
We've had a few landlords that reach out every year and give a gift to their tenant. Not quite as many, but we will actually hand deliver them out to the tenants just prior to Christmas. So, you know, we've had movie tickets, bottles of wine, those sorts of things. And
just get them to write it. Get them to write a review.
I think I'll have to steal that one.
Note that one. No one's doing it. No one's doing it. I'm seeing a lot of, you know, I've been doing this for a long time and I've got lots of ideas. Most of them are crazy. Many of them shouldn't be followed, but that one that's a good one. Jess, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you this afternoon. I've really enjoyed it. I'm sure that a brand new person would be honoured to work through with you and watch your journey. I'm going to watch your journey with interest. What I am going to look out for, I'm going to make a diary note, October 2021, REIV Awards 2021, Property Manager of the Year, Team Leader of the Year, I don't care what it is.
That's a lot of pressure.
I want to see, well, not really. You just got to, you've got 12 months to get it together. I certainly think that you are one of our industry leaders, and
thank you.
Your landlords should be bloody honoured to have you there. Your boss should be really rapt. You've handled yourself incredibly well, and obviously doing really good things down there. And your team clearly kicking goals in the Frankston area.
They're brilliant.
It's been my pleasure chatting with you. Thanks very much, Jess from Ray White Frankston.
Thanks, Michael.